notice nobody's talking about him. We're hearing all this talk about Wilder versus Fury, Fury versus Pianetta, Joshua. But this guy right here, he can end it all. 34-1, 24 KOs, 38 years old. Let's go look at some of his big fights. David Price, he had some issues, but nonetheless, he got the stoppage. Johan Duhaupas, remember Deontay Wilder fought him. Maurice Wack, Gerald Big Baby Miller fought him in his last fight, correct? No, there wasn't the fight before that. Mike Perez, who we last saw him in the World Boxing Super Series at Cruiserweight. Carlos Takam, who got dispatched by Anthony Joshua and Derek Chisora most recently. WBA World Champion, who he's fucking up right. We saw the clip of him fucking up Manuel Char right here. Let's go back. I'm gonna show you a little brief clip of him laying hands on Manuel Char. Manuel Char right now is our WBA World Champion, if you don't know. Also, you saw that leaping left hook right there? That leaping left hook is a big issue. Wladimir Klitschko. Wilder was going to fight this guy right here, but he failed the drug test. Hasim Rahman, Marco Huck, Ruslan Chagiev, Eddie Chambers, the Birdman, Chris Bird. If you look at this resume and you look at these names, I'm wondering why people are thinking that he's a cakewalk. He could very well knock Anthony Joshua the fuck out. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. All the links to my social media, obviously, have been popping up on the screen and right down below. The fight's going to be taking place September the 22nd. Over there in the UK, obviously, you're going to be paying for it on pay-per-view. Over here in the States, we're going to be watching it here on this. Just so happens here in the States, it's free because the first 30 days of this, the zone is what it's called, is free over here in the States. For example, if you go to their website, obviously DAZN, I just don't like that name. It's too 1990ish. You know, it's the zone. It's spelled Dan's but it's supposed to be the zone. But anyway, it launches us September the 21st with Bellator 205, then September the 22nd, Joshua Povetkin, and then, of course, if you don't know, we're going to be getting all of Matchroom cards here in the United States. That means 16 Matchroom USA cards, and also every single card that Eddie Hearn has produced over there in the UK. But listen, man, Povetkin ain't no joke. You know, he can bring a lot of people. He can bring 90,000 plus to tears at Wembley. All you that go to the pub and all the ladies and everything, prepare yourself. This dude ain't no joke. Now, I understand what you may say. I'm an American in the LGBT, some shit. I'm not. I'm a boxing fan. Look around my channel. I just don't cover Wilder, Joshua, Tyson Fury, all those. I cover the sport as a whole. Looking at it and covering probably about a dozen of this guy's fights on YouTube. And I've covered every single I've covered 18 of Anthony Joshua's fights on YouTube. 18. I missed 3. One of them was his debut, and a few of them mixed in, but I can't remember the last time I didn't cover an Anthony Joshua fight here on YouTube, meaning moments, and not even moments. After that final bell rings, I'm sitting here, I hit record, and I start doing my video. I'm very familiar with who Anthony Joshua is. I give him more respect for beating Joseph Parker than I did Klitschko because of Klitschko's layoff and age. Nonetheless, Klitschko is still good and one of my favorite heavyweights of this era. But I give him more respect for Joseph Parker. And I'm going to give him more respect if he knocks out and beats Alexander Povetkin. As you can see, he's only got that one loss, and that's the Wladimir Klitschko, when Klitschko held him to death. I thought they were going to start fucking in there, man. Shit was getting real erotic. They came there to dance erotically. Yeah, you ever see that movie? What movie is that from? Anyway, he's got the amateur pedigree. He's got the power, the height is going to be an issue. He's listed here at 6'2". He's not no 6'2". He's about 6 foot, maybe 6'1". I'm 6'2". I interviewed him in New York at the DAZN press conference. In fact, I'm gonna show you while I'm talking to you. I'm gonna pull a bit of it up for you. And right now, I'm wondering if he's going to focus more on the body, because Joseph Parker wasn't allowed by the referee to be able to work on the inside and go to the body. Alexander Povetkin, however, may be able, to get in on the inside where Povetkin may be able to get in on the inside where Joseph Parker couldn't. But also, Povetkin has more tools upstairs. Don't expect for him to go in there and try to jab and try to box Anthony Joshua. He's going in there to knock him out. And I'm thinking that he's probably going to try to, keep shooting that left hook. Now, Anthony Joshua's biggest punches, obviously, is that uppercut and that straight right hand. I'm not really too sure. I mean, he has power, obviously, in all of his shots, but it seems to me that his money shot is that uppercut, right? And that right hook. That uppercut where he turned Klitschko to a fucking Pez dispenser. But let me look it up real quick, see if I can get you that. I didn't upload it. Is this it? I got a chance to talk. We're here with Alexander Povetkin. First, I would like to say congratulations on your big fight. It's been a very rough few years for you. And the question I want to ask you is this. I know you can't really talk about the weaknesses of Anthony Joshua. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and upload this to the channel. I didn't think this was that. Let me see. I'm going to go ahead and upload this to the channel for you guys. I got to stop sitting on this footage, man. I get a lot of content and I just be sitting on it. But I'm going to upload that to the channel and we're going to talk about it. But right now, Alexander Povetkin can upset, the whole heavyweight division, because remember, he was supposed to fight Deontay Wilder. And a lot of people still don't understand the full details of what happened with that drug test. But nonetheless, understand that Wilder is on a slippery slope with Povetkin, because I'm not sure if that defamation lawsuit still stands. So, for example, Alexander Povetkin, as it stands, has been cleared. When he initially failed the drug test, it was for a drug called meldonium. At that point in time, when he failed the drug test, it was a newly banned drug. The drug wasn't even on the ban list for more than a year. In fact, it was less than a year. But what was learned was through an expensive investigation, because Povetkin's team is a billionaire. The guy that funds him, World Boxing Promotions, he's actually stepped down. My last research on it, he stepped down, but he's still in charge of things, but he's not involved in the day-to-day operations, but he's still the financier. His name is Rob Binsky. He's this billionaire here. I'll pull him up for you. Binsky. This is the big financial backer behind a lot of those guys. Like I know he's got Dennis Lieberdev, Manuel Char. I don't think he has Sergey Limpinets anymore. Hold on, I'm looking for him. This is him right here. I follow him on Instagram. He likes guns and shit. This is Alexander Povetkin's promoter. He's got a lot of money behind him, and an expensive investigation was launched where basically it was found that it wasn't enough scientific data to show how long it takes for that meldonium to get out of your system. Also, the amount that was found, and understand, I can't show them to you on here, and it's going to take forever, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, and I can be sued myself. I have the legal documents, thank you to a guy named Maxwell Bear. Forgot how to pronounce his name, but it's very, very complex. But to people who say that Povetkin failed the test and he lost, he didn't lose that case. In fact, we haven't heard the end of it unless they settled out of court and there was a confidentiality agreement. But there's still something in regards to the case still going on the defamation side. For example, Wilder has yet to be paid because the money's still in escrow, or it's complicated, man. I got to go back and look at the paperwork. So don't be quoting me on none of this shit. But from what I gathered and from what I know, I can say, you know, just to paraphrase and leave all the mumbo jumbo out of it, is that Povetkin is kind of in the right. His team looked like they was kind of in the right, you know. So whatever the case is, as you can see, he's fighting Anthony Joshua. You know, they're giving him every type of testing under the sun, and he's going to go in there and likely knock Anthony Joshua out. Now, I understand, you know, Anthony Joshua has that height advantage. He has that reach advantage, and of course, he's the UK's golden boy. He's boxing's golden boy right now. Obviously, Canelo #1, Joshua #2. We're talking about on a global scale. Still, you know, people were underestimating him, like Joshua's going to walk through him. And I understand now that Joshua is very deeply focused in training camp. Yeah, he posts some shit every now and then on social media, but he's not taking Alexander Povetkin lightly. You know, this is likely Povetkin's last chance, and it took him a lot to get to this point right here to be able to get a world title shot, a bigger, much bigger title shot than Anthony Joshua. He is, don't forget, the WBO and the current WBA mandatory. So after this, Joshua will have an IBF mandatory sometime in the next year, and then he doesn't have to have another mandatory for the WBA or WBO, or if Povetkin wins, vice versa, you know, until 2020. Now, of course, there's a rematch clause. Of course, if Joshua loses, you know, he's going to fight Povetkin again. You know, he has to, especially depending on the manner that he does lose. But if he does lose, I don't see him getting knocked out. I see him, you know, I mean, I don't see him going the distance. I see him getting knocked out. Also, understand that conditioning has to be key. And I'm hoping that Joshua understand that he has to come in the same shape in regards to conditioning and stamina as he did for Joseph Parker. And I'm going to say that I consider Alexander Povetkin a much more dangerous opponent than Joseph Parker. Just my personal opinion. So I'm telling you right now, if Anthony Joshua beats him, I'm going to be like, yo, like, you know? And for people who want to ask, I do have Anthony Joshua, put it this way. All of these guys have the tools to beat each other. None of these guys, I don't give Wilder, I don't give Povetkin, I don't give Joshua, I don't give Tyson Fury the credit yet to say, yo, they beat everybody. The heavyweight pool is deep right now with those names I just mentioned, along with Dylan White, Big Baby Miller, Dirk Chisora still hanging on in the mix, Luis Ortiz. You know, you got Thomas Adamek still in the mix now. He's fighting Joe Big Baby Miller. Dominic Breazeale, WBC mandatory. Bryant Jennings, Joseph Parker still out there. You know, you got Lucas Brown somewhat still in the mix. Manuel Char, WBA world champion. Fresno Quindo's about to fight him. So, you know, the heavy Trevor Bryan, WBA interim champion. You know, Huey Fury fighting Kubrat Pulev to be the IBF mandatory. So the heavyweight division is deep right now. And Anthony Joshua with those 3 belts, you know, he's got to just keep knocking them dead. Listen, it's no easy roads. You know, and all these guys are trying to find the easy or cheap way to get to him. Salute. I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Of course, I'm going to be you know, covering the fight. Also, we got to start working now because I'm going to need some help during fight week. I think I may go talk to and I am compensating. We're not in a situation like we were a startup before, you know, but I am looking for some help, you know, for fight week, not the fight, but overall just to get to these UK events out there. So the information to contact me is right down below in the description box. And of course, I have a lot of videos to do on Joshua versus Povetkin once we get to the fight, because we got to talk about how Joshua wins and what's next for him. Because obviously, you know, this video was focused more on Povetkin, and a lot of people are going to say, you know, you're biased toward Povetkin. But I'm trying to do, you know, videos where I focus on each of the boxers. You know, and for those who have been following me know that I do multiple videos on multiple fights. For example, I'll do an initial video, then I'll do a fight week video. If they have any type of other promotional shit going on, like press conferences, media workouts, or something on TV, I'll do a video on those. In the case of this, obviously, we still got the gloves are off. You know, we got the fight week stuff. You know, we got the official launch of the zone over here where we're going to take, I'm going to buy it. And then on here, we're probably going to do a live stream. We're going to go look around the website and click on stuff and see, you know, what they have to offer. Anyway, I'm TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. Please subscribe.